rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councilmember Irby? Here. Councilmember Page?
Here.
Councilmember Fitch?
Here.
Councilmember Gray?
Present.
Councilmember Clancy? Here. Councilmember Tracus?
Present.
Councilmember Harder?
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
We have no bid openings this morning, so, sorry. Thank you.
I move for approval of the journal of the meeting of February 12, 2019.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Journal's approved. We have no bid openings this morning, so we'll move to communications.
Mr. Chair, we have no tax compromises this morning, so we'll move to zoning matters. Under zoning matters, item number 1, Second District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 2, Second District.
Same motion, and that will be the order.
Item number 3, Third District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 4, Third District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion for items 5 and 6.
So ordered.
Item number 7, Fourth District.
Receive, file, and refer to the Public Improvements Committee.
So ordered.
Item number 8, Sixth District.
Please hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Item number 9, Sixth District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Same for items 10 and 11.
So ordered.
Item number 12, Seventh District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Moving on to road and bridge matters, Mr. Chair. Item number 1, all districts.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
And moving on to other communications, Mr. Chair. Item number 1, Second District.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be receive and file and refer to the county council, Department of Planning, and the Department of Revenue, and the Board of Election Commissioners, and that will be the order.
Item number 2, Fifth District.
Receive, file, and refer to the Department of Transportation and Public Works, the Department of Planning, and the County Councilor.
So ordered.
Item number 3, Fifth District.
Receive and file.
So ordered.
Item number 4, all districts.
Receive, file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 5.
Receive, file, and the issuance of request for proposal be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6, Second District.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 7.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 8.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Same motion through item number 13. And that will be the order. Report of the county executive.
Nothing further today.
Report of special committees.
Please hold on the order of business.
So ordered. Public forum.
We have 7 speakers this morning, Mr. Chair.
Please come to the podium when your name is called. Adjust the microphone so we can capture your comments, and try to keep your remarks to 3 minutes.
First speaker this morning is Cheryl Rose.
Good morning. My name is Cheryl Rose. I live at 30 Woodcrest Drive. I'm in Lisa Clancy's district. I am speaking to you today on behalf of the St. Louis County Commission on Disabilities. Again, we want to thank Mr. Stenger and Mr. Tracus for introducing the bill to create a full-time ADA coordinator position. And we want to thank all of you for approving that bill. And we're here to advocate for funding for that position. You already have a half-time person, and we're really hoping that the county can find the funds to fund the other half of that position. We think that it's important, as the biggest county in the state, to have that position filled. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next speaker is Sarah Coyle.
May I speak without the microphone?
Yes.
Good morning, my name is Sarah Coyle, and I am a member of the St. Louis County. And I am here today, because we have several vacancies on the county commission, and we have had, applicants, people who have made applications to be on the commission, and or they have not had much communication regarding their status. And so we are hoping that the county executive office can help notify them of their status, and if there's anything that we can do to assist with that, to please let us know, because we would like to fill those positions on the commission.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Alfredo Lopez.
Mr. Lopez, before you start, I want to say one thing with respect to Ms. Rhodes and Ms. Coyle. I want to thank you both for coming. I want you to know that the council is looking seriously at getting the position filled for ADA coordinator, and I'm requesting that the Committee on Disabilities be convened to look at that and resolve this impasse once and for all. So we'll be on that in the immediate future, but thank you all for coming today. Sorry, Mr. Lopez, go ahead.
No problem. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Alfredo Lopez, and I live on 4122 Lafro Street, South City. And I'm here to talk about Tower T. And the thing we're about to do here, I don't think is right. The reason why is because I'm new to golf. 9 years ago, I started playing golf. And I didn't know what golf was, and I started playing, and I started going there, practicing, and I started liking it. I started going to the driving range, started playing golf, and I developed a great golf game because I used to have this place by my house. I used to go there sometimes twice a day, and now they're trying to close it, and I don't think that's right because we develop memories there. We got so many memories from this place. Some people go around and collect money. They like the money. I like memories that I spend with my kids, my nephews, stuff like that. I don't care about money. I mean, I do okay. And I'm sorry because my heart is broke because spring is around the corner. I got my clubs ready to go, but the place is empty now. And we want to build houses there. Why we want to build houses if we don't have a place for the kids to play? It doesn't make no sense to me. Why we building houses and making money if our kids will not have a place to take them and play? They're going to be on the TV all day, just playing video games and watching TV. Why are we doing this? Please, I'm begging you, stop the rezoning. Please.
Mr. Lopez, don't apologize for your passion. It's greatly appreciated. Mucho gusto.
Next speaker is Tom Sullivan.
Mr. Chairman, I have a few things to mention. As you know, I filed a second complaint against the council for violating the Sunshine Law. To suggest that those being appointed to boards and commissions would be St. Louis County employees makes little sense. It's similar to Bob McCullough saying that Councilman Tracus doing legal work for school districts amounts to a second job. I would say the council could use all the help it can get when approving appointments. You approved one person to an important committee who had been sued for sexual harassment. It was settled out of court. When Steve Stinger became county executive in 2015, the council was approving his appointments with only a name. No copies of resumes or applications were provided. Once when Charlie Dooley was county executive, the council approved someone to the county police board who was likely a co-owner of a house of prostitution in University City. Also, the council's weekly agenda does not conform to the law. It could use some improving. Elliot Davis just did a story about the council wanting to spend $30,000 for outside attorneys. At the same time, the county executive's office is using outside attorneys to handle the lawsuit filed against it by the Attorney General's office. This was for repeated violations of the Sunshine Law. Shouldn't the county counselor's office be handling this? At last week's council meeting, an issue came up with the number of people working in the county executive's office. Maybe the issue should be the number of people working in the county executive's office who are on the payroll of other departments. A few examples. Cordell Whitlock, Director of Communications for the county executive, is listed as being in the Public Works Code Enforcement. Paul Hamill works in the county executive's office, as far as I know, but he is listed in Highway Administration. The Director of Community Empowerment, which I think was in the county executive's office, is now listed as being in municipal courts. Lance Lacombe, known as Lion Lance when he was at MSD, was hired in October to join the Stinger team as, quote, Senior Policy Advisor for Administration and Strategic Initiatives at $130,000 a year, yet he is in the Department of Human Services. His only qualification seems to be his wife as Rex Sinkfield's Chief of Staff. Also, it seems there are always jobs in county government for political friends. Former Councilman Pat Dolan got a job in the Parks Department making $87,500 a year, and his assistant got a job making almost $50,000 in the Planning Department. It should be remembered, too, that when Peter Crane was approved as county councilor, he told the council he needed 2 more lawyers in his department, which I objected to. The council approved the request. It turned out both positions were patronage jobs for the county executive. One lawyer worked in a Stinger law firm. I would suggest that the council might get a complete list of all county employees and the departments in which they work. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Tom.
Next speaker is Michael Burton.
Hi all, Michael Burton here. Good to see you guys. I met Alfredo at a restaurant a while ago, and man, you have to hear his story. It's really something. The reality is, Steve Lotes tried to save his business. Okay, that is a fact. And until the day that he showed up here and read whatever that was, I had spoken to Steve for hours and hours and hours on the phone. And here's words from Dave Swadek of the batting cages on November 10th, 2017. He posted this. Want to thank everyone for their support. Eviction notice is sobering. Tell me these 2 men didn't want to save their business. That whole line is crap. I looked at the Census Bureau. There's over 400,000 houses in St. Louis County. Let's say hypothetically there's a compromise, hypothetically speaking, right? Say it's around 78 houses or so. That would be less than 0.02% of all of the houses in St. Louis County. Okay, 1% is 44,000 houses. We're talking about 88 houses here? We're going to destroy all this history for 88 houses? You're from Afton, Steve Stanger. County Executive Stanger, excuse me. I wish we could have heard your voice in the past, but I will ask for it still today. Do you know how many times the words, not a done deal, have come out of my mouth? And the percentage of residents that didn't know that over a year? Do you know how many times I've had to say this is not a done deal, it hasn't been rezoned? And people are like, oh wow, really? It's absurd. Newsflash. There are other places to build houses. And maybe McBride has spent a lot on this deal. Maybe they have. That's not your problem. That's not my problem. Okay? And if you want to hear, if you ever hear anything like, oh, well, some of the residents want houses there. Some of them do. Look at this. My goodness, look at this. This is our protest petition. Look at all the check marks. If I was given those yard signs out, I could have given one to every single house virtually, going outside of the Afton School District.
That's 3 minutes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Just want to read one thing from Fred Rogers. I watched a documentary on him last night. We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say it's not my child, it's not my community, not my world, not my problem. Just keep that in mind. And if you hypothetically see what they want to call a compromise gets rid of some of the issues and concerns. That's what a compromise is. It'll get rid of some of those concerns. But if the compromise doesn't, you can't call it a compromise. Thank you all, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Michael.
Next speaker is Ms. Trina. Tina?
Pamela Clark.
Pam? Are you with Miss Tina?
Hello, everyone. We're here representing Glasgow Village, and the reason that we're here is because we went to the planning division and we tried to stop, which we were denied, a 8-pump gas station being developed on Shepley and Spring Garden. The planning committee did deny it, so we are at this level and hoping that you guys will hear our plea. I am a resident of Glasgow Village. I also work in the community, and I also have a not-for-profit in which our foundation provide basic life needs and resources to help the community. One of the reasons we feel we do not need an 8-pump gas station in Glasgow Village is because the residents there are low income. The majority of them do not even have a car. And if they do have a car, it does not run. It's going to be, they want to place it somewhere close to an elementary school. Our biggest concern is the individuals that desire to place it there are known to sell synthetic drugs, trafficking, cigarettes, and some other things that we feel that we already got issues and we do not need. We have facts on that they have been doing these things. Not saying that they would do it in our community. We do not know, but we do not want to give them that opportunity. We have over 600 at that time signatures from individuals within the community. We have support that's here with us today. We also have our support from our trustees within our community. We have support from individuals that have been there for over 50 years, plus they're saying, no, Glasgow Village do not need this. We're seeking development. We also have a grocery store that will be breaking ground very soon. By the end of this month, we will have our own grocery store. Our foundation has been blessed to have somebody that's going to support us, that we can build something for our teens within the community. By me working in the school districts, I'm able to go into a lot of the homes that are there. I work with the kids. I know what they need. Furthermore, it's not needing a gas station that close to the highway. Reason that scares me is they have a lot of trafficking going on nowadays, and we have small kids that do not pay attention to cars already. So we do not want a gas station running back and forth. The other concern that we're having, if they're putting a gas station there, you have to put a sign so people know that it's there. So now you're bringing in unwanted trafficking. Glasgow is not that big. And by it not being that huge of a community, then you bringing in unwanted individuals that can cause us more harm than good.
That's 3 minutes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and the last thing I would like to say, you want to offer something? Thank you,
First
guys.
of all, a grandfather didn't. The shopping center's been around since 1968 that I know of. It was rezoned, okay, and from my speculation, according to your, the CUP, is that a packaged liquor store can only be located 1,000 feet from each other. So, from my measurements the other day, it was 296 feet. So, if you decided to rezone this from a grandfather law, okay, what are the zoning? I see a lot of discrepancies in the zonings. I have a copy of it all here. First of all, have you ceased the property? Because the gentleman.
I'm gonna have to cut you off. Your time is up, and if you want to speak, you'll have to sign up to speak with everyone else.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, though.
When can I sign up?
We'll be here next week.
Let me ask a question.
Again, next
Hold
week.
on, hold on a second. Hold
Really
on a
quick,
second.
Could we ask Ms. Tina to give us her last name for the record? She did not sign in her
Oh,
last name.
sorry, it's Miller.
Thank you.
Hold on a second. I think the council members have
So I have
questions.
to
Wasn't it denied?
Yes, it was
By the
denied,
way, okay.
but we were told that it had to go to our councilwoman.
Well, I'm not in favor of it, so just so you know, go on the record, so.
You're not in favor of the filling station?
Gas station, no,
Oh, you so.
no.
We never had 8 pumps there.
Yeah,
Right.
she
No.
says she's not in
I
favor
know.
of.
Okay, now
So
I'm
she's
gonna have to
definitely-
pay to come back here because,
That's okay.
no, it's not okay.
What?
Okay, so now I have to come back and speak to you again about these
This will be,
Ma'am.
you can drop off, if you have printed material for us, we'll copy and distribute it to the council
It all costs
members.
money, so how do I do that then? Come back and talk to you
Why don't you
about,
stay until after the,
regulations?
why don't you stay until after the meeting and we'll get copies of the
Yeah,
information
well,
that you have. and We'll
I
share it.
have
Well,
you
you can get it on your website, actually, the ordinances.
Have you communicated with our office?
Your office was supposed to notify me by an email and which never did. Gail?
No, no, that's not my office.
Oh, you're, Ms. Gray. Okay, no,
Ma'am, could you step back to the podium if you want to
So,
speak?
why don't you have a seat and we'll maybe continue this conversation after the
that'd
council
be
meeting.
very good. Thank you.
Next speaker is Austin Green or Greer.
I think it's Riverview.
Good afternoon, panel, Chairman. I don't have anything prepared, so I'm just speaking as a father and a resident of Glasgow Village today. Speaking against the Norco project that is proposed, the gas station that was previously mentioned. Ms. Tina was very eloquent in what she said. I can only reiterate that there is an elementary school not far from here. Dozens and dozens of kids walk home from that school every day. There's enough car traffic already in a small Glasgow Village, in which I reside, 200 Grampian Road. And we got enough going on. We definitely don't need an owner that's a felon, trafficking cigarettes over state lines, selling K2 out of those stores that were kicked in, a year ago or so. And I just don't want the guy to open up the business in my neighborhood. I got 2 sons. I'm trying to raise 2 men into this world. There's enough going on in Glasgow Village already. We don't need to add fuel to the fire. Okay? That's all I have to say.
Mr. Chair, can we ask the speaker to spell his last name, please?
Green, like the color.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to point out, I think there's a misunderstanding about when they said they had to come to the council. But it'd be best, again, that's why I asked that you asked to meet with me, that we all, the 3 of us, maybe the 3 people who spoke, meet with my office so we can get a clear understanding, because at this point, it's been denied. So there's no process that's not continuing at this point. Now, maybe it's something else that will happen that by me being new, I don't know about, because I do see that it says to refer to a committee, but to my knowledge, I hadn't intended on referring it. But it is on the agenda to be referred, so we probably will refer it, just to continue the conversation.
Thank you. Any other comments?
It was on here. I don't know why it was on there.
No more speakers, Mr. Chair.
Okay. This concludes the public forum. Please proceed with introduction of bills.
Bill number 44, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with the American Correctional Association for reaccreditation of the St. Louis County Jail. Bill number 45, introduced by Councilmember Fitch, an ordinance amending Chapter 616, Title 6, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended County Parks, Parkways, and Recreational Areas by repealing and reenacting Section 616.040 pertaining to wildlife protection and fishing in county parks. Bill number 46, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to grant an easement to Spire, Missouri Incorporated on 2 flood buyout properties on Riverview Drive, authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 47, introduced by Councilmember Tracus, an ordinance amending Title 12, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended traffic code by enacting and adding 2 new provisions to Schedule 6. Mr. Chair, that is all the bills.
Perfection.
Bill number 270, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger for Councilmember Tracus.
Please hold Bill number 270 on the order of business.
So ordered.
Bill number 17, introduced by Councilmember Fitch.
Please hold on the order of business.
17 will be held.
Bill number 20, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold Bill number 20.
So ordered.
Bill number 21, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold Bill number 21.
Bill number 35, introduced
21
by...
will be held.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bill number 35, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Please hold. 35 will be held.
Bill number 40, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 40.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 41, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 41.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Bill number 41 is perfected.
Bill number 42, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 42.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 42 is perfected.
Bill number 43, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 43.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 43 is perfected. Final passage.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 339, introduced by Councilmembers Walton Gray and Page.
Move for final passage of substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 339.
Second.
The roll call?
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
I'm going to vote, of course, to support the raises. But even just the words that were spoken by Tom Sullivan this morning concern me. The people making over $100,000 that are merit employees. The budget is already in the crunch, but I don't want to hold up the people who are under 100 from getting the raises. But I just am not comfortable with the sub. But again, I'm going to support it for that reason. I don't want to hold up the raises. So I'll vote aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Mr. Chair, for a moment, before I vote on this bill, I think it's important, as Councilwoman Walton Gray pointed out, there are serious budget constraints facing the county. I too want to support this bill, but I think it's important that the public know, and as will become clearer as weeks go on, what started with a $16 million surplus from last year is now down to around $2 million, coincidentally, and perhaps fortuitously, approximately what these raises will cost. And there's serious issues regarding what happened to that supplemental funding. And the council's going to do some investigation today. The simple fact of the matter is, if these, and as I understand it, this just simply authorizes the raises, correct? Doesn't
Right.
appropriate the funds. Once the funds are appropriated, the chances are exceedingly likely that we now go into the red for this year and no longer have a balanced budget. And that, just frankly, from my end, is untenable, Mr. Chair. So while I'll vote yes to authorize these pay structures today, that should in no way, shape, or form militate how I will vote on a final bill actually appropriating the money. Because I think that this needs to be looked at in a very serious way, not just these raises, but what's gone on with respect to the the surplus funds from 2018, where they went, why they went there, and whether or not those funds were in fact appropriated. Subject to that, I vote aye.
Councilmember Harder.
I too have some concerns over this. I don't want to hold up these pay raises because I believe they are well-deserved, but we need to do some more looking into this before we authorize the actual spending of the money. So if this moves it along, I'll vote aye.
Mr. Chair, on substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 339, there are 7 ayes.
Substitute Bill number 1 for Bill number 339 is finally passed.
Bill number 28, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold Bill 28, 28 will be held.
Bill number 36, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 36.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby? Aye. Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 36, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 36 is finally passed.
Bill number 37, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move for final passage of Bill number 37.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 37, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 37 is finally passed.
Bill number 38, introduced by Councilmembers Walton Gray and Page.
I move for final passage of Bill number 38.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
For the very same reasons I just articulated, I cannot bring myself to vote for this bill, so I vote no.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 38, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Bill number 38 is finally passed.
Bill number 39, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
I move for final passage of Bill number 39.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Fitch?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Clancy?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
No.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on Bill number 39, there are 6 ayes and 1 no.
Bill number 39 is finally passed.
Mr. Chair, we have no resolutions this morning, so we will move to unfinished business. Under unfinished business, item number 1.
Please hold on the order of business. Same motion approved. Item number 4, and that will be the order.
Item number 5, 3rd District.
Please hold on the order of business.
So ordered.
Item number 6, 2nd District.
Move that the new liquor license be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And moving on to new business, Mr. Chair, we have 3 prepared orders this morning.
I move for adoption of order number, let's see, 1.
It's an ordinance. Oh, send it up here.
Oh, no, that's 2.
Do we have an order number 1? We have 2 and 3 here.
You
You have
have
1?
one?
Oh, there it
Here
is.
you go. Okay. I move for adoption of order number 1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Order number 1 is adopted.
I move for adoption of order number 2 and 3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Orders number 2 and 3 are adopted. Any comments by any council members?
I made an incorrect vote on something. I need to actually abstain from the perfection of Bill number 41 due to a contractual relationship I have with the University of Missouri St. Louis, so if that could be noted, I would appreciate that.
We'll let the record reflect your abstention on, what's Bill 31?
41.
41, Bill number 41.
The record will so reflect, Mr. Chair.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman, do we have, we've got a meeting this afternoon on the Budget Committee. Are we going to have Mr. Kreidler there for that meeting?
Mr. Kreidler has a conflict, but I do think we'll have some things to talk about. He's submitted quite a bit of written information that I think will get our conversation started, and we'll have a subsequent meeting when he can attend.
Is there anyone else that can come from his office to help us with our discussion?
Well, I don't know if anyone else knows the budget like Mr. Kreidler does. It would probably be better to wait until he's available. I didn't ask for a substitute.
Okay. Move to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.